Good evening and welcome to Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater Township. Tonight, inter-county baseball as the Kitchener Panthers battle the Barrie Baycats. Hi everyone, welcome to the broadcast. I'm Ben Davy along with Julius Hern. It's Kitchener's first visit to Barrie here in the 2024 season, and they are struggling. Just 3 wins so far in their first 13 games. Baycats, on the other hand, off to a pretty good start. When they have struggled, though, Julius, oftentimes it's been because of the big inning, and that happened to them on Saturday afternoon in Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, it sure did. They gave up 12 runs in that game against Chatham-Kent, but only 6 of those runs were earned. They gave up 4 errors in that ball game, which kind of accumulated a 7-run inning in that ball game. So definitely something to watch out for defensively in this one.
Kitchener and Barrie were moments away from the first pitch. To take us through the starting lineups, here's public address announcer Rob Daniels.
Rob, you're up.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, welcome to Vintage Throne Stadium for season number 23 of Barrie Baycats baseball. Tonight's Inter-County Baseball League game features the visiting Kitchener Panthers and your Barrie Baycats. Here are the starting lineups. First for the Kitchener Panthers, managed by Bill Madich. Batting first in center field, number 45, Blake Jacklin. Batting second at first base, number 36, Simon Grillberg. Batting third, the third baseman, number 18, Raul Gonzalez. Batting fourth, the left fielder, number 67, Eric Martin. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 48, Junior Ibarra. Batting sixth at shortstop, number 27, Stephen Whalen. Batting seventh in right field, number 15, Kenny DiClemente. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 55, Ryan Burnside. And batting ninth at second base, number 5, Spencer Ross. Pitching tonight for the Panthers, number 59, Pedro De Los Santos. And now, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, the starting lineup for your Barrie Baycats, managed by Josh Matlow. Batting first in center field, number 9, Canis Ejo. Batting second, the shortstop, number 3, Carson Burns. Batting third in right field, number 95, Noel McGarry Doyle. Batting fourth, the left fielder, number 2, Ricky Phillips. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 20, Nolan Makibroda. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 34, James Anderson. Batting seventh at third base, number 28, Noah Hull. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 44, Tyler Plumpton. And batting ninth at second base, number 47, Brad McQuinn. Pitching tonight for your Baycats, number 39, Cesar Rosado. Here are the umpires for tonight's contest, calling the balls and strikes, Jared Merkley, and handling third base this evening, Francisco DiBiase. Fans, can you please rise if you're able to, and kindly remove your hats for our national anthem. Performing tonight's national anthem will be Eden Floor. Eden is 9 years old, from Barrie. She loves to sing and write songs. She loves her babysitter and wants to be a singer when she grows up. She has also applied for Canada's Got Talent. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Eden. Take it away.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts
All right, fans, it's time for tonight's first pitch. And her name is Hannah Deschambault. Hannah grew up in Barrie, going to Baycats games. Designated hitter Ryan Rio was a big part in her softball journey. Ryan helped to grow Hannah's love for softball, which led her to accomplish her dream of playing college softball in Florida. There, she became an NJCAA national champion. Recently, she threw a no-hitter in her local summer league. Fans, please welcome Hannah.
Great job, Hannah. Well, she didn't even wait till the introduction was over, and I think that's the first underhand softball pitch we've had here at Vintage Throne Stadium, certainly this season, but maybe ever.
It was pretty cool. Like, she was really confident about it, and she got right over the plate, too. Even better.
Down the left and right.
Saw her warming up just outside the Baycat bullpen before the game, and boy, she can pitch. What a treat to have her here at Vintage Throne Stadium here tonight. Let's look at the lineup for the Panthers under manager Bill Matish. It's Blake Jacklin, familiar name in the leadoff spot for the Panthers tonight. Simon Grinberg batting second at first. Raul Gonzalez, the power-hitting third baseman in the 3 spot. Eric Martin handles cleanup duties tonight in left field. Junior Ibarra is the DH batting 5th. Stephen Whalen in the 6th spot at short. Kenny DiClemente, Ryan Burnside, and Spencer Ross round out the 9 tonight for the Kitchener Panthers.
And on the mound for the Barrie Baycats, it was originally going to be Frank Garces, but it is Cesar Rosado starting for the Baycats this evening. He's been quite good despite the not really being the ace of the staff, but he has really impressed Josh Matlow so far this season. A 3-0 record, a 2.03 ERA through his first 5 appearances. 2 of those have been starts. But the one stat that I like to point to his success this year in the IBL, just a 136 batting average against Cesar Rosado.
28 years old from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. And the Baycats fans will get just their second look at Rosado here at home this season. He made his debut in front of these fans against the Brantford Red Sox a couple of weeks ago. As we get ready for the opening pitch, Jared Merkley calling the balls and strikes tonight. He dusts off the plate as we get ready for tonight's first pitch. Very comfortable evening after a week of heat warning. Still a heat warning in effect right now, but it's cooled off nicely. We're at about 26, 27 degrees right now. Humidity still in the low 30s. Jacklin steps in. Rosado likes to work from the stretch even with nobody on, so he'll look in for the sign. Jacklin waggles the bat, the left-hander. Waits for Rosado's first offering, and it's a fastball for a strike at 7:39. Here at Vintage Throne Stadium, a little bit of wind in from right. Just a light breeze, nothing significant at the moment, but enough to keep everybody a little bit cooler and more comfortable here on this sweltering week of weather. Rosado deals, and that hit him. So an early base runner for the Panthers as Jacklin is aboard.
A little bit of an awkward turn there from Jacklin. Looks like he got maybe off the elbow. I'm not sure if he was wearing a pad when he was at the plate, but walking slowly to first base, trying to recover from that.
Look at Barrie's defense behind Rosado.
And for the Barrie Baycats, Ricky Phillips gets the start in left with Kenny Sejo in center, Noel McGarry Doyle in right. And on the infield, a little bit of a different lineup for the Baycats this evening. Noah Hull at third. Carson Burns is back at his usual shortstop. Brad McQuinn gets the start at second base. Meanwhile, Nolan McAbroda is back at first. And James Anderson gets his first start of the season at any position. He's catching Cesar Rosado.
A chance for the Baycats to showcase some of the depth of their roster this year with some noticeable absences tonight. Simon Grinberg comes to the plate with a man on and nobody out. Jacklin, a prolific base stealer in the IBL for a number of years, gets a good lead, does not go. First pitch in the dirt, and now he's off. Blocked by Anderson, but he has no throw.
Yeah, it seemed like an easy steal there for Jacklin. That ball just got way too far down the third baseline off the block from Anderson, but good effort to keep the ball in front nonetheless.
This is just Jacklin's 5th game since joining the Panthers here in 2024. Already has 3 stolen bases. Rosado works. And that one goes off Anderson's glove into the backstop. So the Panthers get a base runner 90 feet away with nobody out in the first inning.
visible frustration there from Cesar Rosado. Kind of threw his hands up after saw the ball go off of Anderson's glove. Already not happy with maybe the connection him and his catcher have this game.
Control has been one of the few concerns with Rosado this season, a team leading 14 walks. But he has been pretty effective otherwise with that sparkling 2.03 ERA. 2-0 pitch. Broken bat, center field. And a long way to come in for Kenise Ejo. He dives, makes the catch, runner tags, no play at the plate. It's 1-0 Panthers.
It seemed like no matter what, if that ball was going to drop, Jacqueline was going to score, but even better for the Baycats to keep that one runner on. It's just one runner one run in against Rosado. He's got a clean slate going for the rest of this inning as of right now.
That ball went a long way considering it was a broken bat.
Big chunk of the bat came off too. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, it came flying to the backstop. So 1 out, it's 1-0 Panthers. Base is empty. Raul Gonzalez takes the first pitch low and away.
Seemed like Raul Gonzalez throughout much of last year was an MVP candidate.
Yeah, led the IBL in many offensive categories for a good chunk of the season. And it's a ground ball here to second base. Diving McQuinn up with it from his knees. Makes the throw in time for the out. 2 away in the first.
Well, this is McQuinn's first start on the infield this year. First time at all on the infield this year. For him, he seems like he kind of underestimated where that ball was slicing to on the ground. It got a little bit further away from him than he thought it would.
Sometimes when you're in a new position, getting a ball hit to you early in the game maybe helps a little bit. Get your feet underneath you and your reaction time, which is much different at second base than certainly the outfield positions where he's used to.
I don't recall him playing the infield last year either.
Swing and a miss. This is Eric Martin. Rosado ahead 0-1. Here's the pitch. Inside. Count even. Martin hitting just 200. This is just his second game, though. Has a hit through 5 at-bats. And Rosado behind now, 2 balls and a strike. The tall left-hander digs in, waits, waggles the bat. Rosado looks in. 2-1 offering. Breaking ball, gets over for a strike, and it's 2-2.
Just caught that outside part of the plate. It's exactly what you want to see from Rosado.
Pretty wide speed variance so far between that and the fastball, which we saw earlier in the at-bat. Here's the 2-2, inside. Full count, 2 out, 1-0 Panthers. We're in the top of the first. Rosado looks in. Kicks and deals. That one sails high and away, and it's a walk. Second base runner of the inning for Kitchener.
Seemed like a really patient at-bat there from Martin the entire time. Really was waiting for his pitch and didn't end up getting it. Ended up getting a free pass instead.
Rosado really changing speeds with his pitches and also mixing up the delivery as well. The leg kick there. 2 pitches prior to that, he kind of did more of a quick pitch. Trying to keep these Kitchener hitters on their toes. Here's Junior Ibarra now with 2 out and a runner on. Rosado deals. And again, he's inside.
Well, that's the thing. When you're pitching out of the stretch as opposed to pitching out of the windup with nobody on, your delivery becomes more consistent even in any situation with runners on as well. So anything to kind of mix up the timing of the hitters definitely would give you a bit of an advantage.
1-0. And it's a high fly ball to right field. McGarry Doyle has it, and he takes it for the out. So a half an inning in the books. It's Kitchener 1, Barrie no score. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
For Kitchener in inning number 1.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original two men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. Two small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Bottom of the first inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. Ben Davy along with Julius Hern.
And this first inning is brought to you by McDonald's in Barrie, home of the free fries with 5 Baycats strikeouts.
Kenny Joe, Carson Burns, and Noel McGarry Doyle are the top third of the order here tonight. Ricky Phillips in the cleanup spot in left field. Nolan Macabrota back at first base batting 5th. James Anderson, the catcher, hitting 6th. It's Noah Hall, Tyler Plumpton, and Brad McQuinn in the bottom third of the order for Josh Matlow's Barrie Baycats tonight.
On the mound for the Panthers, making just his 3rd appearance of the season, 3rd start, is Pedro de los Santos. Comes in with a 3.08 ERA through his first 2 outings, 11 2/3 innings across those 2.
Hard-throwing Dominican left-hander, a back-to-back IBL champion with his previous club, the London Majors. And pitched for the Toronto Maple Leafs prior to that. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Nijo takes it outside, 2-1.
De Los Santos comes in with a pretty wide pitch arsenal. Comes in with a 2-seam fastball, changeup, curveball, and a slider. But mostly a breaking ball pitcher.
Nijo hits this one on the ground to short. It's Stephen Whalen. First for the out. 1 down at the bottom of the first inning.
Here comes the defense for the Kitchener Panthers in the outfield from left to right. Eric Martin, Blake Jacklin, and Kenny DiClemente. On the infield, Raul Gonzalez, Stephen Whalen making that play at short. Spencer Ross at second, Simon Grinberg at first with Ryan Burnside behind the dish.
Now here's a real opportunity for Carson Burns to shine tonight. He's in the number 2 spot of the order, and he is off to a slow start, very uncharacteristic for Carson, hitting just 107. And this one stays on the infield, off the glove of De Los Santos, makes the throw. It's not in time.
That's the kind of play that might get Carson Burns out of a little bit of a slump that he started the season with, coming into this game hitting just 171, but Josh Madlow thinking maybe moving him into the 2 spot's going to kind of break him out of whatever he's in. That's a good example right there.
So Noel McGarry Doyle, and this will be his first at-bat this season at Vintage Throne Stadium. He was on the field when we started Thursday night's game, or what was it? Was it Saturday?
Last
what night
Thursday.
were we here? It was Thursday we were here, and we got 13 pitches into the game. The Baycats didn't even get to swing the bat, so lots of excitement about having Noel McGarry Doyle back in Barrie here in 2024.
And he's hot through his first 2 full games, both in Chatham last week. 3 hits in each of those games. So hitting a clean 600 through his first couple games.
Still just 23 years old.
It really seems like he's slimmed down, gotten into much better shape throughout his college season and coming into back to the IBL with Barrie. Was a third-team All-American in the NJCAA last year.
De Los Santos with the runner going. Here's the throw, and it is not in time. So Carson Burns with a stolen base.
That's first stolen base of the season for Burns. Seems like he's kind of feeling himself after reaching that hit. Just his fourth hit of the season.
Gary Doyle fouls that off to the left side. Finished his junior year at Mid-America Christian University. Lefty-lefty matchup here. De Los Santos checks the runner. 1-2. And it's lifted opposite way, down the line, left side, and it's out of play. Eric Martin gave chase well out of his reach, and that will extend the at-bat.
Seems like McGarry Doyle's lately been making much more of a conscious effort to try and go the other way. Last year, he seemed to be pulling the ball more. And he was telling me last week when he was right before the Brantford game that was suspended that was much more of a focus for him throughout his college season as well, being more of a hitter that can spray the ball over the field.
.333 for the Baycats a year ago, and a lot was made of Kenise Ijo's franchise mark 26 stolen bases. McGarry Doyle stole a perfect 14 for 14. And he hits this one to left field, and that is well out of play.
Yeah, really had to protect the plate there because Burns was off on the pitch too. It looked like he had third base stolen, but McGarry Doyle had to put a piece on that one.
So he's gone the opposite way, fouling off a couple pitches here in this at bat. 1-2. That's a called strike three. Gary Doyle seemed to be taking all the way, and that one was right down Broadway. So 2 out of the inning for cleanup man Ricky Phillips. De Los Santos seems to have a knack for getting the big pitch when he needs it, and you saw it there in that at bat with Noel McGarry Doyle. So 1 on, 2 out. Phillips takes the first pitch, just missed.
Mentioned how hot McGarry Doyle's been. Well, Ricky Phillips has been quite hot himself. 4-game hit streak, and he's had at least an RBI in his last 3 games.
And another guy who loves to run the bases and steal them too. A team leading 11 steals in his 12 games this season.
Almost seems like he's on a better pace than Kenise Ijo was at this time last year, who broke the franchise single season mark.
You're not wrong. 2-0, taking again, and it's a strike. Well, a number of times this year we've seen Phillips steal second and then swipe third on the very next pitch.
He's even stolen home a couple times this year as well.
2 balls, 1 strike. Now time is called. So Phillips uses his 1 timeout and now settles back into the box. De Los Santos steals the 2-1 pitch. Couldn't check his swing. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nolan Macabrota on deck, hopeful for an at-bat here in the first. Baycats with a man in scoring position, down 1-0. Here's the pitch on the ground to second. And the throw is made by Spencer Ross, and that will do it for Barrie in the bottom of the first inning. Still 1-0 Kitchener on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Baycats in the bottom of the first, no runs.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Design, supply, build,
Top of the second inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. Ben Davy with Julius Hern and Cesar Rosado will face Stephen Whalen, Kennedy Clemente, and Ryan Burnside.
Stephen Whalen.
Panthers up 1-0 on the strength of a sacrifice fly by Simon Greenberg, bringing in Blake Jackland in the top of the first inning. Whalen hitting .286. First pitch from Rosado, and it's outside. Well, if you don't follow the Baycats on social media, let me invite you to do so. Tonight would be a good night to hop on to @IBL Baycats on X or @Barrie Baycats on Instagram. And at the conclusion of tonight's game, there will be some audio clips of Carson Burns and Brad McQuinn. Both of them are mic'd up tonight, so you'll get to hear some snippets of them. Actual game audio, which is kind of a neat feature on our social media pages.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. It's starting to get some of that content out as the season progresses.
They haven't gone quite as far as having us interview them during the play yet, but maybe that'll be for 2025. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that, even as a broadcaster.
Well, it always feels awkward when the player has to make a play while they're getting interviewed.
And it has happened when an error's been made.
Yeah, Kike Hernandez did that this year with the Dodgers.
And then you're in the broadcast booth feeling responsible for that error.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't want that kind of liability.
No, neither would I.
Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Stephen Whalen.
Awkward swing there from Whalen, just kind of lazily reached for it. He does lead the Panthers in strikeouts with 15. Seems to be an issue for him. Just 4 walks.
Fouled off, and the at-bat will continue. Well, Burns and McQuinn are the middle infield tonight, so those are 2 guys to put the microphones on because a lot of communication is happening even during the at-bat. Especially with base runners on, as far as who's going to cover the bag on a stolen base attempt and that kind of thing. So you get a chance to hear how those guys talk to each other during the course of play. I think that's really cool. As long as they're not talking to us.
Yeah.
2-2, swing and a miss. It's a strikeout for IMP North. 1 down.
Well, not to mention, whenever they come to the dugout, they're always this team's really social with each other. So there's always going to be some kind of chatter in between innings or while guys are at the plate.
Most of it's airable.
Most of it.
But of course it's not live, so if anything needs to be cleaned up, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's Kenny DiClemente, the right fielder. Of course, it's always more fun to hear these guys chatter out there when they're winning.
Whenever the mood's high, it makes for way better content.
Everybody's a lot more loose and having fun, and when you're down on the scoreboard, especially in the late innings, that's when everybody's dialed in and focused. On the ground and down the line, foul. Count is 1-1.
DiClemente hitting .400 through his first 4 games. Kind of a hot start for the Panthers already.
Now, a lot of these guys in the lineup tonight joining the Panthers a few weeks into the season. the pitch, and that's in for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Rosado might be lucky he got away with that. Kind of a hanging breaking ball of the higher part of the plate.
The right-hander comes set. Glove up high, kick steals, and it's lifted to left field or the third base side, and a nice grab by Noah Hull, ranging to his right on a weakly hit ball, 2 away.
Catcher number 55, Ryan Burnside.
Yeah, Noah Hall's had, his defensive issues earlier this year, co-leading the team in errors with 6, but he is very versatile. Is much faster than you might think he is with the size.
So the number 8 hitter is Ryan Burnside. Takes the first pitch low and in the dirt. Rosado turned 28 years old last week. First year in Barrie. Deals the 1-0. And that's a called strike, 1-1. Burnside, one of the more patient hitters in this Panthers lineup, team leading 8 walks. Hitting just 207 though. And he takes another strike, 1-2.
Yeah, but he has produced pretty well whenever there's guys on ahead of him. 7 RBI already this year through 10 games.
Has yet to swing the bat in this plate appearance. Let's see if he pulls the trigger here with a 1-2 coming up from Cesar Rosado. One just missed off the plate, count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the second inning. Base is empty as Rosado, with the glove up high, comes set. And the delivery. And that count is full. Rosado going deep in counts here, and this is something that he has struggled with at times this season. Despite being able to pitch his way out of jams, oftentimes going deep in counts and falling behind early in counts.
It seems to have been an issue in this game already. A lot of 2-strike counts he's kind of hasn't been able to cash in on.
Burnside waggles the bat. Rosado with the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Cesar Rosado. Brought to you by IMP North. And that'll do it for the Panthers in the second inning. Still 1-0 Kitchener through an inning and a half on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. The Barrie Baycats about to lead off here in the bottom of the second against the Kitchener Panthers. This inning is brought to you by JC Unlimited Contracting. Design, supply, build, renovate, servicing Simcoe region for over a decade.
5-6-7 for the Baycats against Pedro de los Santos. And showing bunt on the first pitch is Nolan Macabrota. He'll be followed by James Anderson and Noah Hull. Baycats down 1-0 early in this one to the Kitchener Panthers. You and I were both commenting during the commercial break about how comfortable it is now all of a sudden after 4 days of sweltering heat. I think maybe the lid has started to come off that heat dome a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. The sun's kind of getting covered a little bit by some clouds at the ballpark today.
I was really worried about tonight. I got to be honest with you. I thought, man, the sun's going to be right in our face. We're going to be sweating like crazy.
And we all know how bad the bugs can be at the ballpark here.
We're going to get burned and we're going to get killed.
It's turned out to be a beautiful evening here. Officially 24 degrees, Humidex 32. Pitch from De Los Santos on the ground to second base. And it's an easy play, 1 out.
Catcher number 34, James Anderson.
James Anderson's the catcher tonight, batting 6th. Veteran Baycat.
We saw him get quite a bit of playing time, especially in the outfield last year, but this is just his first start of the season, his 4th game.
Yeah, didn't do a lot of catching last year. Of course, Josh Cote was here in 2023, and then Tyler Plumpton was sort of the backup catcher in that spot, but
it seemed like towards the end of the season when they lost Plumpton with injury, when they lost Cote when he fulfilled some college commitment, that's when Anderson was really needed behind the plate, because that was when Hayden Jacob was starting to feel more comfortable coming back from some knee injuries.
fans getting on the pitcher a little bit as that ball just kind of lazily went past the glove of Pedro de los Santos as he reached up for it on the throwback, and the ball is retrieved. That'll just delay things a little bit here.
That's not the first time that's happened tonight either. It happened a couple times in the first.
Oh, I missed that. 2 balls and a strike. I guess if you want to slow the game down, that's one way to do it. Although there aren't any runners on here, so it didn't burn them in this case. But some of these guys that have been in the league for a long time, you got to think they must have a whole catalog of delay tactics when needed. And,
the more you play, the more shortcuts you learn throughout your time.
Because they can't slow the game down this season the way they maybe could have in years past. So not as many step-offs or stepping out of the box as Anderson goes down on strike. So 2 down here.
Speaking of game speed, actually, I saw an interesting report on social media today. The average game time in the IBL this year is about 2 hours and 57 minutes. For the Baycats, they clear that on home games on average 2 hours and 46 minutes.
Okay. See, I would have expected these rule changes might bring it a little more in line with the major league numbers, which I think, I haven't seen any data on it. You can let me know if you have, but it feels like most major league games now are 2:30, 2:40.
Yeah, it seems around 2.5 hours has been the usual. Yeah, that sounds right. But at the same time, they also have a pitch clock.
True.
We don't have that in the IBL yet.
Yeah, we've had some games very close to 3 hours here this season.
The one full game that the Red Sox were here for a few weeks ago I think it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes or so. It was very quick.
Yeah, I remember that. 1-1, and that's low. 2 balls, no strikes to Noah Hull, the third baseman.
Noah Hull's been quite hot. Multiple hits in his last 2 games. Got his first extra base hit of the season on Saturday.
Foul back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. De Los Santos rocks into the windup. 2-2. And it's a called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts as Anderson and Hull go down. And it's a 3-up, 3-down second for the Baycats. Panthers up 1-0 through 2. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original two men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. Two small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
And we are back at Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater Township. Kitchener Panthers here for the first time in the 2024 season. They have their first run. They're still looking for their first hit off Barrie right-hander Cesar Rosado. And it'll be the number 9 hitter Spencer Ross to lead it off for them in the third inning. I mentioned this is just Rosado's second home appearance in front of these fans in Barrie this season. His previous outing was the rain postponed game here last week. That game has been rescheduled for Wednesday night next week, so they'll pick up where they left off, 13 pitches into that game, so if you want to come out to it, you didn't miss much. 1 out in the top of the first, and they'll just pick it right up where they left off here on Wednesday night. So, of course, if you had tickets for that game, you can come back out and use your ticket for the rest of that on Wednesday. No balls, 2 strikes here to the number 9 hitter.
And the Baycats are right back at it the next night as well, so back-to-back nights for the home game next week.
So Rosado will presumably start that resumed game on Wednesday because everybody kind of has to be in the same position where they were.
So we kind of got the lineup to us earlier this morning. We saw Frank Garces was supposed to be the starter for this game, so there could be a couple reasons as to why Rosado's getting the nod tonight instead. Possibly that extra rest factor, because I would assume that he'd be the starter on Saturday if he wasn't pitching tonight. Plus, you might want Frank Garces against the Hamilton Cardinals, who are been fantastic offensively this year.
On the ground foul. Hamilton will be here at 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and then I believe the Baycats are in Brantford on Sunday afternoon. So it'll be 2 games in a row against the Red Sox. Sunday there, Wednesday night here. And presumably Rosado would be on the mound Wednesday night. No balls, 2 strikes. We're in the third. Rosado with a leg kick and the delivery, and it's a called strike 3. Third strikeout of the ball game. It's brought to you by IMP North. And it's back to the top of the order for Blake Jacklin. So Rosado is retired 5 in a row, coming off the walk to Eric Martin in the first inning. Jacklin has scored the lone run of the ball game. Was hit by a pitch in the top of the first. First pitch swinging, and he fouls it away. Jacklin went 0 for 4, Kitchener's last game against the Barnstormers. Both these teams coming off losses to Chatham-Kent. So how about that? And big losses, too, as you mentioned. 13-3 was the score of the Chatham-Kent-Kitchener game on Sunday. favor of the Barnstormers. They got off to a 2-0 start, struggled after that, and now starting to find their groove again.
Yeah, and Kitchener's lost 5 of their last 6 games, so that team's definitely looking to get back on the right track. Just 3-10 to start the year.
Pitch is high and away, count 2 balls and a strike. Really enjoyed our trip to Chatham-Kent. I went down with our PA announcer Rob Daniels to watch the Friday game. We missed the Saturday game because we wanted to go to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, and that was a real treat. Saw the induction of quite a few people, and Buck Martinez winning a broadcasting award. We got a chance to meet him, which was a real thrill. 2-1 pitch, and it's a strike. Count is even, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I wasn't able to make it down with you guys to Chatham on the weekend, but I would have loved to have talked to Buck Martinez, as I know you did. You had a conversation or two with him.
Yeah, we got a chance to kind of get some exclusive access to him because they give the media a chance to take pictures and get sound clips and that sort of thing. And that one's high and away, count 3-2. We had a chance to just sit and talk to Buck just sitting on couches drinking coffee for like 10 or 15 minutes. It was just really amazing hearing all of his stories, both as a player and a broadcaster. I mean, you think of the wealth of baseball life that he has lived.
Not to mention, he used to be the manager of the Blue Jays back in the
yeah,
early 2000s.
they mentioned that. Yeah, he's done just about everything. 3-2 pitch on the way, and it's a high pop-up on the outfield grass. It's going to be the left fielder calling them both off, Ricky Phillips. 2 out here in the third.
First baseman number 36.
The fans at Chatham-Kent were very, very nice to us, despite us wearing our Baycats stuff. We were treated well. And got a nice visit with team owner Dom Donnell as well. Boy, they've done everything right in Chatham-Kent as far as laying the foundation for the IBL's newest franchise. Lots of fan excitement. They've got between innings promotions. The field looks great. Everything there just is first rate. So
that's fantastic.
You will enjoy your first trip there whenever you get down.
I'm excited for it.
It's really an old school sort of baseball feeling community, where it's right in a neighborhood. There's houses in the outfield. You know, some people can just literally sit on their back porch and watch the game. It's got that kind of feel to it.
Tons of history, baseball history in Chatham.
Fergie Jenkins Field. Another infield pop-up. Noah Hull will call for it, and he will take it for the out. So 3 up, 3 down go the Panthers in the top of the third. We're through 2.5. Still 1-0 Kitchener on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
No hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Hey, fans.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from Hern and Barrie Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. The Baycats trail the Kitchener Panthers 1-0 as we head to the third inning. And then third is brought to you by Render 3D Quick, the #1 architectural 3D rendering company in Canada, working with thousands of builders, developers, architects, and more.
Tyler Plumpton comes to the plate for the first time tonight, and he is the DH. So literally seeing his first bit of action here this evening as James Anderson is handling catching duties tonight. Plumpton, McQuinn, and Ejo all due up for the Baycats here in the bottom of the third, trailing 1-0. Plumpton hits this one to the right side. And it's an easy throw for Spencer Ross. One down, bottom of the third inning. Mentioned at the top half of the inning that we got to chat with Blue Jays broadcaster Buck Martinez, and he just shared so many great stories with us. One in particular that just I really found incredible was he was talking about a Blue Jays-Tigers game where Jack Morris was pitching for Detroit and Dave Steeb was pitching for the Jays. This was at Old Tiger Stadium, mid-'80s, as this one's fouled off at home plate. And I asked Buck if the Blue Jays liked playing in Detroit because it was the kind of park where the fans were right on top of the action. And those were, you know, very, very hostile crowds in the 80s when the Tigers were so dominant and winning. And I'm thinking that couldn't have been a fun park to play in. But he said the Blue Jays did enjoy going there. And the proximity with the fans and the players on the field was incredible. You could hear each other talking. You're right there on the action. And he said one game Jack Morris is looking across the field, and he's in this pitcher's duel with Dave Steeb. This one's hit high, right center field. And it's going to be the center fielder taking it, Blake Jacklin. 2 out. Dave Steeb's got his jacket on, and he disappears into the tunnel, and it looks like he's been pulled from the game. Morris goes into the Tigers clubhouse. He gets Dave Steeb on the phone. He calls the Blue Jays clubhouse, and he goes, "You get your butt back on the field, take your jacket off, and get back in the game. Our team isn't done with you yet." I asked Buck, I said, "So did Steeb go back in the game?" He said no, but he sure wanted to. He was pretty fired up after that. Can you imagine getting a phone call from the other pitcher?
You don't hear that nowadays at all.
Mid-game.
Yeah.
I mean,
not only were the Tigers and Blue Jays big rivals in the 80s, especially being division opponents, but that Steeb and Morris rivalry in the 80s was incredible too, them jawing at each other through the media. And it's funny how it kind of all became full circle in 92 when they became teammates for a brief time.
Down the line and foul. Yeah, Morris ended up becoming a Blue Jay. Now I'm trying to recall if Steeb was on the team when Morris came to Toronto.
Yep.
Steeb was traded. That was after 92. So yeah, they would have been teammates, right?
Yeah, and then Steeb was released after that season and signed with the White Sox for a brief time.
Yeah, they were both world champions in 92. Swing and a miss. Down goes Ejo. Baycats 3 up, 3 down for the second time tonight. We've played 3, still 1-0 Kitchener on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Top of the fourth inning, Vintage Throne Stadium, Kitchener Panthers up 1-0 on the Barrie Baycats. And it's the number 3 hitter, Raul Gonzalez, to lead it off against Cesar Rosado.
The Panthers are leading 1-0, but they're still looking for their first hit of the ball game.
Number 18, Raul Gonzalez.
Yeah, Rosado is humming right along here. He's retired 7 in a row. Eric Martin, who's due to hit third this inning, the last Panther to reach base safely. If you're just joining us, the lone run coming off the bat of Simon Grinberg. A sac fly to drive in Blake Jacklin, who was hit by a pitch. Stole second and third and then scored. Rosado's 1-0, and that's over for a called strike.
Mentioned how hot Gonzalez was last year, looking like an MVP candidate. Kind of off to a slow start. I think just 216.
And he hits this one to deep left field. It's up and it is gone. Solo shot for Raul Gonzalez, and the first hit of the night for the Panthers is a tater. 2-0 Kitchener.
Well, Gonzalez kind of made me eat my words there a little bit. Mentioned how he'd been struggling to start the year and proving everyone wrong with a huge home run there, doubling the lead.
Historically, he's had some big home runs over the Baycats as well in recent years. He likes playing in this park, and well, this isn't exactly a home run hitter's park either, but he's hit some moonshots here in this stadium.
Well, it plays more like a pitcher's park considering how deep center field is, 405 feet. Down the line, it's just 325.
And when there is wind in this park, it's usually blowing in. This one in foul territory. It's out of play.
And the wind is blowing in a little bit from right to left.
So Eric Martin. First at bat, second plate appearance of the game. He walked in the first. The 2-0 Panthers. We're watching the IBL Panthers tonight. I know a lot of people will be watching the NHL Panthers tomorrow, as they will try yet again to get that elusive fourth win and win their first ever Stanley Cup. Boy, what a series that's been.
It's been incredible to see just the resilience of the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid kind of taking over.
Yeah, I saw some numbers, and he's on. It's Wayne Gretzky-like, the playoff numbers that he's put up. It's
well over a point and a half per game.
Give him credit, you know, and give those fans credit for hanging in there despite being down 3-0. But 2 more chances for the NHL Panthers to get it done. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. A strikeout for IMP North. 4th strikeout of the game for the Panthers.
Number 48,
Junior Ibarra, the DH, will bat with 1 out. I was thinking about this. You've got 3 teams called the Panthers. You got the Kitchener Panthers, who are yellow and black. You got the Florida Panthers, who are red and blue. You got the Carolina Panthers, who are light blue and dark blue. You got the St. Peter's Panthers here in Barrie, who are purple. There's 4 Panthers teams, all with different color schemes.
Well, there's so many names in sports that are cats.
True.
Like,
Cats in the CFL.
Panthers, Wildcats, Baycats.
Yeah. Baycats wearing the Throwback Thursday Reds tonight, if you're just joining us.
Not to mention like teams like Tigers.
Yeah.
Or Cougars is a big one too.
1 ball, 1 strike. We get the Lions. The NFL Lions are silver and blue, and the CFL Lions are orange and gray. One ball, 1 strike. Pitch from Rosado. And that's through into right field for a base hit. Second hit of the game for Kitchener. 1 on, 1 out, and Stephen Whalen comes up.
You saw just moments ago Juan Benitez starting to throw in the Baycats bullpen. I'm curious to see if, even if Rosado gets through this inning, how much more he has from there.
Benitez has been used in the bullpen more this season than previous years during his time here in Barrie. Yeah, the addition of Carlos Sano and Cesar Rosado into the Baycats starting rotation, along with workhorse Frank Garces has given Josh Matlow that luxury of moving Juan to eat up some middle inning relief innings.
And it's great that you still have him to use if you have a 4-game week. As long as you don't overwork him out of relief in the first 3 games, you could probably still use him as a starter towards the tail end.
2 starts and 4 appearances for Juan Benitez, and one of them here on opening night was a piggyback start with him taking the first few innings and then Frank Garces coming on in relief, something we hadn't seen before.
And Garces closed out that game after the first few innings from Benitez.
That was Garces' lone relief appearance so far this year. 1-1 pitch, and the count is 2-1 as the pitch is low.
That one specifically from Garces, because he came in the 5th inning, finished out the game from there, and still had 10 strikeouts.
Pretty incredible. That was against the Toronto Maple Leafs here on opening night. And
only relief appearance in his IBL career, Frank Garces.
Called strike, 2-2. Baycats win a perfect 6-0 over the Leafs in the regular season last year, and Toronto still has not beaten Barrie since their win that eliminated the Baycats from the 2022 postseason. Just one matchup so far this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that was lifted to right center field, and a diving play by Canisijo, and he does not come up with it. The ball gets away. Stays with him, though, and there's 2 on for the Panthers here with 1 out.
Solid contact there from Stephen Whalen. Looked like that ball was going to carry a little bit further into the gap, but the wind that's blowing in from right field kind of looked like it hung that one up, and valiant effort there from Canisijo. Looked like he had a better shot at it. Had a diving play earlier in the ball game, but that one just a bit too far away.
Canisijo has a way of getting to those balls and making you just hold your breath for a second, thinking that he might be able to come up with some of those impossible catches, and we saw him do it many times last season. The ball looks like it's going to drop, and all of a sudden Nijo's there. This one lifted to left, shallow, and it'll drop. The runners had to hold, so that will load the bases. Ibarra stops at third, Whalen at second, Di Clemente is aboard. 3 straight singles for Kitchener here in the 4th inning.
Catcher number 55.
Well, Ricky Phillips was charging in on that ball. He wasn't going to get it. It bounced too far in front of him, but it looked like if he come up with the ball a bit cleaner, because Ibarra was holding up in between second and third, he might have had a shot to get the force out at third, but just a bit too late on it.
So still just 1 out in the inning, and now time is called as Rosado wants a new baseball. As Benitez continues to throw. Ryan Burnside to the plate. He struck out to end the second. 2-0 Panthers. They're looking for more. Rosado deals. Swing and a miss. Little off-speed action there, and Burnside was way in front of it.
Corner infielders for the Baycats playing in, trying to capitalize on a double play if they can get a ground ball.
Rosado wanted another baseball.
Keep in mind, if he asks for another baseball, that counts as a disengagement. So he's got to be careful.
Looks in for the sign. And this one lined to second. The catch is made, and stepping on second is Brad McQuinn. A double play for unassisted. And the Panthers score 1 after loading the bases, and the lead 2-0 through 3.5. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
1 run, 4 hits, no
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. Bottom of the fourth. It is 2-0 Kitchener over Barrie. This fourth inning is brought to you by Clarkson Bins and Junk Removal, the local source for simple, clean, and reliable disposal bin rental and junk removal services.
Carson Burns is the number 2 hitter, and he will lead off the fourth for the Baycats with some work to do down 2-0 here. Noel McGarry-Doyle and Ricky Phillips to follow. Burns was hitting the ball pretty good in BP this afternoon. Normally hits near the bottom of the order. He's in the number 2 spot today. And he's ahead in the count here, 1-0. Two runs, 4 hits for the Panthers. No runs, 1 hit for Barrie. Foul to the on-deck circle. Burns shows bunt, and the ball goes foul onto the grass. Count 1-2.
Well, he reached on a bunt base hit in the first inning, really trying to capitalize on the infield playing deep. Great form on the drag bunt there, but just couldn't keep it fair.
Pedro de los Santos, the former London major. Just misses on the 1-2, and the count is even. Has retired 8 straight since Burns' single in the first inning. Baycats looking to get something going here with the bats. That one's low, and it's 3-2. De Los Santos deals. Ball 4. Second base runner of the night for the Baycats. 1 on with nobody out.
Right fielder number 95.
Great take there from Burns. Looks like he's trying to be a bit more selective with his pitches, his recent at-bats. Didn't travel with the team to Chatham over the weekend. His last appearance was here against the London Majors the weekend before.
Noel McGarry-Doyle went 3 for 5 against the Barnstormers on Saturday afternoon in Chatham, Kent. Drove in a run in that 12-4 loss. Josh Matlow looking for a more balanced attack from his lineup rather than just 2 or 3 guys. This one fouled into foul territory down over near the Kitchener bullpen. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, McGarry-Doyle had 3 hits on Saturday and Friday against Chatham Kent. Both of his first 2 full games back with the Baycats.
6 hits and 11 at-bats here in 2024. 0-2 pitch, and that's in the dirt. Burns goes. The throw down, and it is offline. Goes into center field. Another stolen base for Carson Burns.
Ryan Burnside's had a little bit of issue throwing behind the plate. It didn't look like he picked up Burns on the move right away after he made the block and kind of caught him off guard.
So a walk, a single, and 2 stolen bases for Carson Burns. He's the only Baycat in the lineup that's done anything offensively so far. This one gets away from Burnside, but stays in front of him.
And I think that Burns hadn't had a steal this season before this game.
Producing tonight in the number 2 spot in the order. 2 balls, 2 strikes to McGarry Doyle. Pitch from De Los Santos, and the count is full. First base open, Ricky Phillips on deck. Still nobody out here in the 4th.
And McGarry Doyle saw a full count in his at-bat in the first inning and took one that was too close in. He struck out looking.
And he lays off. I thought he was going to pull the trigger on that 3-2. That was a close pitch. And he draws the walk.
And that one might have been a bit too low for McGarry Doyle. Very strong take.
He wanted that one, and he was able to use his hands to hold up on that swing. Drew the base on balls, and now 2 on for the Baycats. Their best scoring chance of the night here. Ricky Phillips to the plate with nobody out. Swings and misses on a low fastball.
Phillips trying to extend a 4-game hit streak. He has an RBI in his last 3 games.
Phillips usually very aggressive at the plate, and he fouls that one back to the screen. So Phillips behind in the count, 0-2. Big pitch coming up here from Pedro De Los Santos. Runners go. Swing and a miss. The throw to third and a double play. Phillips down on strikes. Burns caught stealing. 2 down here in the 4th.
That's a killer for the Baycats. They tried out the double steal with McGarry Doyle behind Burns, so they still have a runner in scoring position, but it's tough when you go from threatening with 2 on, nobody out. Now you're 1 ground ball away from this inning ending.
The strike him out, throw him out, double play. That is exactly what Pedro De Los Santos needed, and now Macabrota will bat with a runner at second and 2 out in the inning. He's ahead 0-1. This is outside. Kitchener dugout not happy with that call. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Macabrota hitting .290 through 9 games here in his rookie season with the IBL Baycats. Pedro De Los Santos 1 strike away from dodging a huge bullet here in this 4th inning. Here's the pitch. It's on the ground to first, and it's gloved in foul territory. Now the at-bat will continue.
Yeah, Macabrota really has to watch out for the sliders that De Los Santos is throwing. A very slider and breaking ball heavy pitcher. Not going to see his 2-seamer a whole lot.
One ball, 2 strikes. Gary Doyle leads at second. 1-2. And the count is even to Nolan Macabrota. Macabrota has power. 2 home runs for Barrie already this season. And the count is full.
Great take there from Macabrota. You would usually see a lot of hitters, trying to reach out and protect the plate, but sticks to his guns there.
Payoff pitch. It's a fly ball to center field. And that one is up and it's gone. That ball kept carrying. It's over the wall, a home run for Nolan Macabrota. So how about that? Barrie ties it up with one swing of the bat.
Well, you mentioned it. That ball just kept carrying. It looked like it was going to just be a deep fly ball. It surely looked like it was going to score McGarry Doyle from second. Jacqueline just kept ranging further and further back, and before he knew it, it was over the fence.
Third home run of the year for Nolan Macabrota. It puts him ahead of Hayden Jaco and Kenise Ejo, who each have 2 dingers. And the Baycats are finally able to get to Pedro de los Santos. That one sails to the backstop. So the base is empty here for James Anderson and 2 away. Well, that one fouled off at home plate. It's going to go foul.
Anderson had to be really weary not to run into the ball or into the catcher there, because lucky also that one stayed foul.
What about that one there? Just over the wall? Okay, now go back this way.
Anderson takes a pitch, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
I'll take it at sooner next time if there's another one.
Swing and a miss, and that does it. So Anderson goes down swinging, but not before Nolan Macabrota ties the game with a home run to left center field. Julius will call innings 5 and 6 when we return. It's 2-2, Kitchener and Barrie here at Vintage Throne Stadium.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original 2 men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. 2 small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. Now a tie ball game between the Kitchener Panthers and the Barrie Baycats, 2-2. As we head to the top of the 5th inning, 9-1-2 in the Panthers lineup to face Cesar Rosado, who's back out for his 5th inning of work. We saw Juan Benitez warming up in the Baycats bullpen earlier last inning, but is no longer throwing. Ross struck out Lucking his first time up, leading off the 3rd, and he's back leading off, takes first pitch ball. Seemed like such a momentum swing in the last inning. The strike him out, throw him out, double play with Pedro de los Santos getting those 2 clutch outs. As that pitch goes off the glove of Anderson to the backstop, and then right away, Nolan Macabrota ties this game up with a home run to left center field. And just like that, we have a tie ball game. (2-0) from Rosado. Gets a called strike on the outside part of the plate. Ross off to a good start, hitting .313 through his first 8 games. Still looking for his first hit of this ball game. 2-1, it's grounded to the 3rd. Noah Hall charges in and cuts it off, and the throw to first is in time for the first out of the inning.
Center fielder number 45.
Noah Hall really settling into third base defensively after some struggles when he started his Baycats career over there at third.
Yeah, his first game at third base this season, as you mentioned, he really struggled, and then he made a great catch against the fence. And has certainly seemed more confident at that position since. Seeing some action here tonight, back on the hot corner and having a couple of balls hit to him early in this game.
First pitch is a curveball to Blake Jacklin. It's in the dirt. It's funny that that play was in a game where he was struggling earlier in the game, and right from there you could tell that he had found some kind of groove and confidence.
Well, when teams see that defensively too, oftentimes there's a tendency to exploit that. And it kind of felt like that might have been happening to Noah Hull that night. And maybe just making that one big catch against the fence might have just kind of helped him a little bit with his confidence. Not a position he was expected to play a lot of this year, but will be called upon when needed.
Another ball in the dirt. Counts 2-1 to Blake Jacklin, who scored the first run of the ball game in the first, was hit by a pitch and advanced on a couple pass balls and scored on the Grinberg sacrifice fly. Two-one for Mossato. Fly ball into left field. Ricky Phillips settling under it, and he will make the catch for out number 2.
First baseman number 36, Simon Grinberg.
Grinberg will step in, trying to extend the inning. Grinberg coming into this one hitting .250 on the season. He takes that one, and that looks like it hit him off the foot, and he's going to get to first base. Seems to be okay. Look, that curveball just got away from Rosado, and he's pleading to the umpire that the ball didn't hit him.
Well, it sounded like it hit something. If it didn't hit him, I'm not sure what it caught a piece of, but you could definitely hear that the ball made contact with something.
Looks like they're going to call Grinberg back to the plate.
Unless it was just the sound of the ball hitting Anderson's mitt, I'm not sure.
It sounded like he hit him on the foot, just from, the audible plunk, and the umpires are going to have a little meeting about this one.
The ball makes a different sound when it hits a piece of equipment as opposed to just, the ground or certainly a bat.
Because it didn't sound like it went off Anderson's glove or looked like it at all. Looked like it would have hit Grinberg's foot or off the dirt and to the backstop.
Well, there's one guy who knows for sure, and that's Simon Grinberg.
Well, and he didn't hesitate on his reaction either. He threw the bat back to the on-deck circle and trotted to first.
Yeah, if he was trying to sell that one, he did so like a pro, that's for sure.
And he's going to have to resume his at-bat. Umpiring crew overturns the call. He will step back in on a 1-0 count. Don't see that too often.
I do like to see that, though, when the three umpires converge on a play. Maybe somebody got a better look at it than somebody else and can offer some assistance. Always good, especially in a league that doesn't have video replay.
So the 1-0 from Rosado is fouled over the screen out of play. Last time up, Grinberg popped out to third base to end the third inning. Pitch from Rosado. On the ground to second. McQuinn going to scoop it up. And on to first to end the inning. A 3 up, 3 down. Top of the fifth for the Baycats. They'll come up in the bottom half of the fifth. In a tied 2-2 game. You're watching Baycats baseball on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
We're at Vintage Throne Stadium, halfway through this ball game, barring extra innings. It's the bottom of the fifth inning, brought to you by Phaetrum, aluminum and siding, quality above all else.
Still a 2-2 ball game between the Panthers and Baycats. Julius Hern along with Ben Davy and our entire Baycats TV crew on this, what has become a beautiful Thursday evening for baseball. The heat's kind of settled down a little bit with some cloud cover. Noah Hull leading off the fifth for the Baycats. He flies it into shallow left field. And left fielder Eric Martin makes the catch for the first out.
I was walking around just a little bit, stretching my legs between innings there, and I could definitely feel just the change in temperature. It feels like it's dropped about 10 degrees here since our first pitch. After all the sweltering heat we had earlier this week, still 24 degrees, humidex of 32, but that doesn't feel nearly as hot as it would have before the heat wave that we've all just endured.
First pitch called strike to Tyler Plumpton, who grounded out his first time up. And you know, with the heat settling down, it really just makes the fans more comfortable too and more active. Ground ball gets through the legs of Dos Santos, the shortstop. That's Stephen Whalen doesn't have a play, and that's going to be an infield base hit for Tyler Plumpton.
No excuse there. That one right through the wickets of Dos Santos. Should have been an easy play, and he knows it.
And that one is scored a hit, so Tyler Plumpton with a kind of a squeaker of a base hit there, but that's going to put someone on for Brad McQuinn.
Well, it certainly looked like an easy play to me. I kind of surprised an error wasn't charged, though, unless it didn't glance off his glove at all. But
looked just like it went cleanly through the legs of Pedro Dos Santos.
He was in position. I mean, that's the kind of ground ball that a pitcher's got to come up with.
Tyler Plumpton has reached base in every game he's played this season. That's going to continue after that base hit right there.
That's an impressive stat.
Meanwhile, Brad McQuinn has only had a hit in one of the games he's played this year, and that was a 3-hit game. I believe that was against Chatham here a few weeks ago. And in that game, he kind of stepped in as a last-minute starter, the 9 spot in the lineup, and he proved himself well. Bunt attempt goes over the screen and out of play foul.
I mentioned that stat by Plumpton, and what's even more impressive is this is his 8th game of the season so far. He's been used a lot more than he was needed last year. He played in just 9 regular season games. He's almost approaching that mark already here in late June, and to be able to contribute the way he has.
Another foul out of play on swing by McQuinn. It was also unfortunate. I'm sure that Plumpton would have gone into more games later in the season had he not, had the broken leg that he had at a game at this ballpark.
Yeah, we saw that injury, and it was just put a knot in your stomach just watching Plumpton go down.
1-2 pitch from Dos Santos. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit for McQuinn. Great piece of hitting from Brad McQuinn going right back up the middle, and there puts 2 on for the top of the Baycats order.
Well, Brad McQuinn and Carson Burns are our 2 mic'd up players tonight, and both of them have been the 2 best Baycats in the lineup so far. Burns has reached base both times. McQuinn, some solid defensive plays at second base, and now a key base hit here for the Baycats in the 5th inning.
So that'll bring up Kenice Ejo, who's looking to reach for the first time in this ball game. First pitch is up high for ball 1. Ejo had his 7-game hit streak snapped on Saturday in Chatham. But he has been able to reach anyway, walk in his last 5 games.
Yeah, this whole team really struggled on Saturday afternoon in Chatham, and there's, other than Noel McGarry-Doyle, really, when you look at the box score, there's really no explanation for it. The team stayed overnight, coming off the Friday night game there, so travel wasn't an issue for them on Saturday, but just completely looked like a different ball club, and especially that sixth inning where the Baycats gave up 7 runs.
Baycats left 14 runners on Saturday. I won't call the strike as Ejo was taken all the way. I think that as a manager, that's maybe the biggest stat you look at. Is, who you're leaving on base, all the opportunities you're not cashing in on. As Kenise Ejo takes the walk, and then he'll load the bases up for Carson Burns, who's reached both times he's been up so far this evening.
Well, it was a real frustration for the Baycats last year in the IBL finals against the Welland Jackfish. And again, I know that's ancient history, it's last season, but it was a reoccurring theme during that series. They were getting guys on, but not getting them in. And it just seemed like inning after inning, they couldn't string the hits together to actually get their base runners home.
And not even on, but in scoring position. Line drive into right center field, a base hit. Plumpton's in to score. McQuinn rounding third. He will score. 2 RBI, base hit for Carson Burns. It's 4-2 Baycats.
And here comes Barrie doing exactly what we were just talking about. Stringing together some hits here in this 5th inning. Have a night, Carson Burns. He's reached base 3 times now. And there's the hit of the evening so far, driving in 2. And this is exactly what Josh Matla wants to see from this lineup. Sustained pressure offensively throughout the order. Funny we addressed the subject of the team response. How do you like that, Julius?
That's you can't ask for anything better if you're a Baycats fan. We're going to get a mound visit here for Kitchener Panthers. Ryan Burnside out to visit with his pitcher. There is a pitcher warming in the Panthers bullpen. That's David Bruinsma, right-hander up in the Panthers pen.
And I wonder if Pedro de los Santos is saying to the umpire, we're talking about signals here, so this shouldn't count as a mound visit. But in that situation, you need to alert the umpire before heading out. And the umpire now signaling that does count as a mound visit.
So Noel McGarry-Doyle settles in, just 1 out in the inning with runners on the corners. First pitch. It's taken for strike 1.
And again, with this mound visit rule, it doesn't matter if it's the manager, the pitching coach, the catcher, or the entire infield. Anybody comes out to talk to the pitcher, that counts as a mound visit. Unless it has to do with signals.
Breaking ball in there for strike 2. Questionable call, but Noel McGarry-Doyle doesn't seem too frustrated with it. Steps right back in.
He's shown a lot of patience today. Drew a big walk in the 4th inning in his previous at-bat.
Another breaking ball just high.
I don't know how he lays off those close pitches.
Especially the ones closer to the highest part of the zone. So hard to lay off. So 1-2 with runners on the corners. Burns goes. Call the ball, and Burns will have second base without a throw.
No surprise there. I was actually going to comment. I'm surprised Burns didn't try to swipe second a little earlier in that at-bat. With 1 out in the inning, very unlikely that the catcher Ryan Burnside would throw down. And sure enough, he doesn't.
3rd stolen base of the game for Carson Burns. Takes the Baycats out of a double play, and the entire Panther infield is playing in. Pitch to McGarry-Doyle is swung on and missed. Kind of a reach of a swing there. Gives the Panthers 2 outs in the inning, and the infield will draw back a little bit. Second strikeout of the game for McGarry-Doyle, but that'll bring up Ricky Phillips, looking for his first hit of the game. First pitch is popped up. Shallow center field. Going back on it is the second baseman. That's Spencer Ross to end the inning, and the Baycats take a 4-2 lead on a 2 RBI single from Carson Burns. We head to the 6th inning. You're watching Baycats baseball on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
No errors, 2 left on
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Why don't think he comes? He doesn't come to Toronto, does he? I can't recall. Yeah.
Baycats have their first lead of the ball game, 4-2 over the Kitchener Panthers as we enter the top of the sixth inning, 3, 4, and 5 in the Panthers' order to face Cesar Rosado, who's back on the mound. Had a little bit of struggle in the fourth inning, but a 1-2-3 fifth has him back out for the sixth. Mentioned earlier, Juan Benitez was throwing in the Baycats' pen, but is no longer. Hasn't been since that fourth inning. First pitch to Raul Gonzalez, fouled back to the backstop.
Well, we'd be remiss if we neglected to, at some point tonight, express our thoughts and our sadness over the news of the passing of Willie Mays on Tuesday. The Say-Hey Kid, and widely regarded as one of the all-time great players in Major League Baseball, who began his career in the Negro Leagues.
One hits him up high, Raul Gonzalez. Seems to be okay, walking slowly to first base. That one looked very scary, hit him up high. Looked like it might be towards the shoulder.
Unfortunately, it looks like Gonzalez is going to be okay. The team trainer out just to make sure, but he'll walk down to first and take his free bag. Of course, a big game happening tonight in Birmingham, Alabama, Rickwood Field, as Major League Baseball will be played there at that former Negro League Stadium. And can imagine how emotional and how special that's going to be for a lot of people tonight.
Considering that, that was where Willie Mays made his professional debut at 17 years old. And the event was kind of put together as like a tribute to him and his peers. But with the sad news of his passing a couple days ago, there's going to be much more fanfare for him there, I'm sure.
Yeah, and he really wanted to be there. In fact, he released a letter a couple of days before he passed away, expressing his regret that he wouldn't be able to attend that game in person, but just saying how much he was looking forward to watching it from home. And unfortunately for us, Willie Mays will be watching tonight's game from somewhere beyond the clouds. So he will be well remembered tonight. I'm sure the tributes for him will just be pouring in.
So Gonzalez stays in this game after that hit by pitch. Then steps in Eric Martin. First pitch is up high, and it's pretty crazy. I mentioned that Mays made his pro debut at Rickwood Field when he was 17 years old. His mom had to sign his contract for him because he was still a minor.
I love hearing stories like that. That's great.
1-0 pitch, driven out to left center field. Kinesija rushing over there, but he has an easy coast to make the catch for the first out of the inning.
Of course, Willie Mays made one of the most memorable over-the-shoulder catches running back to the outfield in the World Series with the, I believe, with the New York Giants, if I'm not mistaken. And
yeah, that was at the Polo Grounds. There's a really interesting piece on ESPN.com by Buster Olney, him making the case for that image or that silhouette to be the new Major League Baseball logo.
Wow. Well, that's an interesting idea because right now it's just a generic, it's the batter, right? But to actually use that, I mean, similar to Michael Jordan in basketball, right? That's what I'm picturing, just the silhouette.
Yeah, that's Jerry West, who also passed away last week. That NBA logo silhouette was
I didn't know that.
After him.
Interesting. Okay.
Lost a lot of sports legends over the last month or so. But it's great to see the baseball community kind of pour in with all the love and gratitude for Willie Mays' career. Foul tipped into the glove. That's strike 2.
I was watching the Yankees-Orioles broadcast on Tuesday night. Bob Costas was on the mic, one of my favorite play-by-play announcers. And
legend.
A guy who has so much baseball knowledge and experience. Couldn't think of a better person to listen to, you know, in the wake of a significant moment like that, share his recollections and his stories. And it almost felt like I was experiencing history listening to Bob make that announcement on the air.
Breaking ball in for strike 3. Caught looking. That one brought to you by IMP North, and that's the 5th strikeout for the Baycats, which means free fries for the fans at Vintage Throne Stadium.
Costas said that if you were to shrink the Hall of Fame down to just 10 players, Willie Mays would be in that 10 without question.
Absolutely. You could argue that he's on the Mount Rushmore of baseball.
Well, just for fun, I made a list of my all-time top 10 players, not pitchers, just position players. And Willie Mays came in at number 7 on my list.
Pass ball gets by Anderson, and an easy pickup of second base for Raul Gonzalez.
And everybody's list is going to be a little bit different based on, you know, what you consider significant as far as a player's career goes. But, you know, you start talking like that top class of player, that's absolutely legendary. There's no other word to describe it.
Absolutely. Who's your GOAT?
I had Ty Cobb.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I always look at the GOAT debate as whoever had the most influence on the sport, and I usually look at Babe Ruth for that. 1-0 pitch is another breaking ball low and in.
Yeah, you look at the numbers of both of those guys, and they're just staggering. But for me, Ty Cobb had a way of invoking fear in players that I don't think maybe Babe Ruth quite had, especially when he was on the bases. Like, opponents were genuinely afraid of Ty Cobb.
Had the stolen base record until Lou Brock broke it, and then Ricky Henderson took that from him. That one up high. It's quickly 3-0 to Junior Ibarra.
But two very different types of players, so it's even hard to rank them 1 and 2. I mean, it's almost like apples and oranges. And that's why I really struggle with putting pitchers on the same list as players. I mean, like having a conversation, who is better, Pete Rose or Nolan Ryan?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
You can't even start that conversation, right? But
3-0 is in there, no problem for strike 1. But yeah, that game at Rickwood will surely be special this evening between the Giants and the Cardinals.
Can't wait to get home and watch those highlights.
3-1 is high and away, and a walk for Junior Ibarra, second time he's reached this evening.
Yeah, it's a complete coincidence, but I have tickets for my first ever Giants game at Oracle Park. Is the final weekend in September, and the Giants are playing the Cardinals.
That's awesome.
In San Francisco that night, yeah. So a lot of those same players tonight obviously will be in that game in September that I'll get to see.
Stephen Whalen steps in. He singled his last time up, and then was caught on the inning double play. Brad McQuinn unassisted. As big lead there from Raul Gonzalez forces a step off from Cesar Rosado. First pitch to Whalen is breaking ball in there for strike 1. Another thing about Willie Mays, nobody had more All-Star appearances.
What was it like?
His entire career.
20-something?
24, I believe.
Wow.
Like, I think he was an All-Star every year of his career, including when he was with the Mets the last couple years.
Steve Stone posted on social media that when he was with the Giants, he was teammates with Mays, and Willie would bet the pitchers that they could throw from the pitcher's mound as hard as they wanted, and Willie would catch the ball barehanded, and he never lost a bet.
That's incredible.
I don't know why you would do that, especially during the season. But, I mean, you'd think he's going to break a finger or something, right? Manager would have a heart attack watching that.
Breaking ball loops in on the outside part of the plate. It's 1-2 to Stephen Whalen.
I mean, imagine you're the manager of the Giants and you're watching your best player catching fastballs barehanded just for a bet. But I guess Willie didn't care.
Fans at Vintage Throne Stadium getting into this pitch. 1-2 from Cesar Rosado on its way. Down low, blocked by James Anderson. 2-2. Rosado looks in and gets the signs from Anderson. Fans at his back. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball, called strike 3. Rosado with some swagger as he comes off the mound. A huge strikeout to get out of a jam. The Baycats continue a 4-2 lead as we head into the bottom of the 6th inning. The strikeout brought to you by IMP North, and you're watching Baycats baseball on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Bottom of the 6th inning of Vintage Throne Stadium. It's brought to you by two small men with big hearts moving. Making moving stress-free for over 35 years.
4-2 Baycats here in the 6th inning. Nolan Macabrota back up to lead this one off. He had that huge game-tying home run in the 4th inning. Facing Pedro De Los Santos back out there for a 6th inning of work. Macabrota shows bunt and hits him. A little bit of some words between Macabrota and De Los Santos. Home plate umpire Jared Merkley has to come in between them. Josh Matlow emerges from the Baycats dugout to talk to his first baseman.
Well, Macabrota perhaps wondering if that was a little tit for tat because somebody on the Panthers got plunked in the top half of the inning.
Also could be a little bit of, not say revenge, but a message sent after the home run in the 4th inning. Oh, here comes Bill Matish. Bill Matish is furious with home plate umpire. He slams his hat and he is out of here.
Well, apparently warnings were given to both dugouts after Macabrota was hit. And Matish not happy about the warning because that will no doubt have an effect on how the pitchers can pitch. And Pedro likes to throw inside. And Bill is really letting the umpire have it.
He is furious. As soon as that hat hit the ground, Jared Merkley tossed him.
I can't recall the last time we had a manager, a visiting manager, come out so vocal, so loud that we could actually hear what he was saying up here.
Yeah, that is wild. I don't remember, at least in my time here, seeing a visiting manager get ejected. It might have happened once or twice, but I can't recall.
Rube Chanderdad has had a few outbursts in his years with the London Majors, but his voice wasn't nearly as loud as Bill Matish. Boy, he was bellowing. when he came running out of that dugout. You could hear him probably in the parking lot.
Catcher number 34, James.
Well, it almost seems like that, kind of whole incident confrontation kind of came out of nowhere at the start of this inning.
Well, what it does, it puts his pitcher in a position now where De Los Santos works inside and he accidentally hits Anderson or another Baycat to come to the plate. He'll lose his starting pitcher. He'll get tossed from the game. So,
runner goes, pickoff attempt from first. Sliding is Nacabrota. He's into second safely. He's on his way to third. Left fielder Martin with a throw into third is picked up, but not in time. Nacabrota picks up 2 bags on a pickoff attempt, and what I'm sure will be scored an error by the first baseman Simon Grinberg.
Pretty aggressive move in a tie ball game, but I like it. The Baycats hoping to maybe capitalize on a bit of a distraction from what had happened earlier.
Also not a guy you really expect to be a stolen base threat. First pitch to James Anderson's popped up on the infield. Spencer Ross is there to make the catch for the first out.
So I am told that on our YouTube broadcast right now, there's a live chat. So if you want to talk during the game, you can do that by putting in your comments or observations. And apparently Adam Ott was on that chat a little earlier today. He's not here tonight, but he's watching the game. So that's kind of cool. But apparently the fans are having their own debate over the greatest baseball player of all time. And I've been outvoted, as it sounds like the consensus is Babe Ruth. I mentioned earlier I had Ty Cobb at the top of my list, and I still stand by my ranking.
0-1 here to Noah Hall is in the dirt. Nice block by Ryan Burnside.
So that's kind of interesting. We'll read those comments later if anybody wants
sure
to chime in. But
I'm sure there's a very interesting debate. I stick by Babe Ruth as well. 1-1 is fouled off. I just think that Babe Ruth was like the first. He was like the first big American celebrity back when he was playing, and that influence, kind of puts him over the edge.
Cultural icon.
1-2 to Hall is lined into center field, a base hit. Nacabrota will score easily, and the Baycats extend their lead. It's 5-2.
Well, that's how you get back at the other team. Aggressive base running and clutch hitting by James Anderson as he gets on board for the first time tonight. Putting Barrie on top now, 5-4.
It looks like that's going to be it for Pedro De Los Santos. It's not Bill Matish out there to make the change. He was ejected earlier, and it looks like first relief pitcher will be out. De Santos has some words for Josh Matlow, and they've thrown him out of the game. Josh Matlow out to talk to Andrew White, and some gestures being made by De Santos was the last straw for him, and he won't be pitching anymore, and he won't be in the dugout anymore.
Yeah, you don't often see a pitcher get ejected as he is pulled from the game, but that just happened to Pedro De Los Santos, and Josh Matlow came out as well, and I thought maybe he would have some words to say to the umpire, but it doesn't appear to be the case. He's having a quick chat with his third base coach, Andrew White. But I said the score was tied. Of course, it's 5-2. Baycats here in the 6th inning.
Steve Scanetti makes his way back to the Panthers dugout. We'll have a pitching change. David Bruinsma is in the ball game. Take a quick break. We'll introduce him shortly. So David Bruinsma is the new pitcher in the ball game for the Kitchener Panthers. He'll take over after Pedro De Los Santos went 5 1/3 with 7 strikeouts, just 4 hits and 2 walks. He's allowed 5 earned runs so far. Still responsible for Noah Hull on first base. He'll turn it over to David Bruinsma. Tyler Plumpton steps in. First pitch, he shows bunt. It's up high. He gets out of the way, and Hull is going to make his way to second after that ball gets to the backstop.
I had a feeling we might see something like that, some chin music to back Hull off the plate, and hopefully that's the end, or Plumpton, excuse me, off the plate. Hopefully that's the end of that. I'm not sure why De Los Santos was so fired up when he came off the mound. It was the ejection of manager Bill Matish with the warning, but ultimately De Los Santos has to be responsible for his own fate here tonight.
Obviously upset. He'd just given up a run right before that, but at the same time, like, seemed a bit kind of out of place for him in that moment. 1-0 to Plumpton is in there for strike one.
Bruinsma, a good man in this situation. He has yet to allow an earned run this year. Just 1 inning of work, but a relief appearance. Strikeout, no walks.
Hasn't allowed a hit either. That one down low for ball 2. Bugs are starting to make an appearance here at Vintage Throne Stadium. Bruinsma comes set. Noah Hull with a dancing lead at second. That pitch is just on the outside corner for strike 2.
So I'm really interested in catching up on this Cobb roof debate on our YouTube channel when I get home tonight and go through all the comments, but see if anybody sides with me. Maybe not. I don't.
I'm looking forward to that too. That's very interesting. Love it when the chats get active. That one outside in the dirt in the other batter's box. That count is full now.
Well, Cobb, Ruth, and Aaron are my top 3 in order. And if anyone else is wondering who else I had ahead of Willie Mays, I said I put Mays 7th. And these are all tough choices, but I had Bonds 4th, Ricky Henderson 5th, and Pete Rose 6th.
Interesting. I would definitely put Barry Bonds on my Mount Rushmore. Ground ball to third base. Raul Gonzalez with an easy throw over to first to get the second out of the inning. Noah Hull sticks at second base.
Bonds, in my mind, I mean, you could put him in the top 5 based on what he did before any of the performance-enhancing drug stuff, in my opinion. When you look at what he did with the Pirates and the Giants before the obvious transformation.
Yeah, he had already been a 3-time MVP before that.
The numbers on him are just staggering.
Only player in Major League history with at least 350 home runs and stolen bases.
And Ricky Henderson, I think, played, 24 years?
For so many different teams towards the end of his career, too.
All-time stolen base leader, all-time runs scored leader. Didn't have a great arm, but that was really the only thing that he would be considered a below-average player. And I watched Ricky Henderson play so many times in person, so I have a little bit of a bias towards him, watching him with the Yankees and then with the Blue Jays later, of course. But he was just, a Kinesijo type player. He would get on, and he would go from first to third before the next at-bat was over.
2-0 to McQuinn is in there for strike 1. And he's not really remembered for being a Yankee, but you could argue his best seasons were with the Yankees. That 4-year tenure in the late 80s before he was traded back to Oakland.
Well, yeah, he had 2 stints with Oakland, I guess, right?
I think he had more than 2 because he came back in the mid-90s after the Blue Jays. He was traded from Oakland to Toronto in 1993 and then went right back to Oakland in the very next year.
Boy, you have a good memory. It all kind of blurs together for me, but I seem to recall maybe he did have a 3rd stint with Oakland. I'll have to look that up now, but I think you're right.
2-2 to McQuinn. He fouls it off into the screen.
I mean, how many times did Tony Fernandez play for the Blue Jays? At least 3.
Yeah.
He might have had 4 stints with the Jays. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because he was there mid-'80s, then he went to San Diego, if I recall, and then back in 93, and then back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I think 3 stints. Yeah.
Checks his swing. Did he go? No, he did not. It's a full count. It's a really interesting story about Ricky Henderson after his major league career. He was still playing indie ball.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Swung on and missed. McQuinn strikes out to end the inning. But the Baycats add another run on a Noah Hull RBI single as we head to the 7th inning. Ben Davy back to lead you through the rest of this ball game. You're watching Baycats baseball on Baycats TV and Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original two men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. Two small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Right-hander number 31, Benitez.
Top of the 7th inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. I'm Ben Davy with Julius Hern. It is a 5-2 Baycats lead. And the Baycats will go from one Dominican pitcher to another as Juan Benitez will get the ball tonight in relief of starter Cesar Rosado.
5th appearance of the season for Juan Benitez. 3rd in relief. He's got 13 innings under his belt so far this year, a 4.15 ERA. He's been very efficient, just 13 strikeouts, just 4 walks through those 13 innings. Been used more in a relief role this year. And it seemed to have worked out for him since we kind of know his reputation of being kind of a slow starter at the start of games, but it's kind of fit in the bullpen.
Right back to him. No trouble for Benitez. Takes his time and makes a clean throw, one away.
Second baseman number 5, Spencer Ross.
Here comes Spencer Ross to the plate. Ross tonight 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out.
Gavin McLean up in the Panthers bullpen. Could be the one to pitch the 8th for, or excuse me, the bottom half of this inning for the Panthers.
The two newcomers on this Baycats pitching staff, Cesar Rosado, who we saw earlier tonight, and Carlos Sano, both in their first season, as this one sits to second. And a throw across, not in time. McQuinn had to wait for that high hopper to come down. Made a good throw, but just not in time to catch Ross.
And he charged it as much as he could. He had to range over to his right to get there and take a little bit of a leap to get that one in his glove. And by that time, speedy Ross was basically already a few strides away from first base.
I mentioned Rosado and Sano, and it was interesting to see kind of what role each of those two would take on, whether one would be in the starting rotation, one would be in the bullpen. They've both been kind of used in both capacities, but it sort of seems like Sano and Rosado might be settling in as starters, which would put Juan in a bullpen position, and he's pitched well coming out of the pen so far this year. Benitez has been used primarily as a starter in his first 3 years here at Barrie, dating back to 2021. On the ground, down the line, step on the bag for one, the throw down, and it's not in time, so they get the force out at first. Heads up play, though, by Nolan Macabrota to try to get the base runner at second.
Number 36, Simon Gridberg.
So Jacklin retired 3 unassisted, and Ross gets to scoring position with 2 away. Important batter here for Juan Benitez as the always dangerous Raul Gonzalez is waiting on deck. If you're just joining us, both Panthers manager Bill Matish and starter Pedro de los Santos ejected from this game. De los Santos ejected as he was being removed. So 2 ejections in this ball game tonight. This one to line to right field, and the catch is made by Noel McGarry-Doyle. And that'll do it for the Panthers in the top of the 7th. It's stretch time at Vintage Throne Stadium with the Baycats on top by 3. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats!
Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. The Baycats are carrying a 5-2 lead into the bottom of the 7th, which is brought to you by Psycho Solutions. Full automotive service from headlight to tailpipe.
Top of the order for the Baycats in the bottom of the 7th. Kenisi Joe, Carson Burns, and Noel McGarry-Doyle looking to add to a 3-run Barrie lead against the Kitchener Panthers and their first visit to Vintage Throne Stadium here in 2024. Ejo tonight has reached base once in 3 plate appearances. Walked in the 5th. And a new pitcher on the mound for the Panthers.
Yeah, the new pitcher is Gavin McLean. He's coming in just for his 2nd appearance of the season. Pitched 1 inning already this year. Given up 2 hits in that inning, but hasn't given up an earned run.
Fans here at the ballpark really energized. The playing of Heave Away, the kind of the unofficial rally song of the Baycats in the 7th inning stretch after taking me out to the ball game. And this one will drop into right field. It's a base hit. Ejo's aboard to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Oh, we always have a little contingent of volunteers. Sandy Joy is one of them. Avery Matlow. A few of them that are down there doing the dancing the jig to Heave Away, and it's sort of like our own little dance crew that we have. You know how some teams have like a dance troupe or something like that? We kind of have that with our own volunteers here.
You know, we see all the, there are some fans that are here for pretty much every home game, and we love seeing them out. They're always the most energetic fans, and they get into all the kind of stuff we have here at the ballpark. Always great to see.
Clapping not only for the music, but to kill off the mosquitoes here in this 7th inning. I don't know how you don't get bit. I'm like spraying myself with this stuff every half inning, and they're leaving you alone, it looks like.
I can assure you I'm getting bit, but.
Carson Burns with a man on and nobody out. Yeah, I picked a bad night to wear shorts. I only wear shorts once or twice a year at the ballpark, and I thought today would be the day with humid X's in the 40s. Fly ball to center field. Blake Jacklin wants it. He's got it. And Ejo has to go back. One out for the third hitter, Noel McGarry Doyle.
You know, Ben, we were talking about this, kind of before the game, but the Kitchener Panthers have some new uniforms this year. They're showing them off tonight. I need to know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I thought they looked a little bit different, and then you pointed out to me what it was. It's kind of the vest. It's not an actual vest, but it's a vest design. I guess a vest designed jersey, kind of the throwback. We saw a lot of MLB teams wearing those, 15, 20 years ago. Lazy fly ball, left center, and it is gonna drop in front of a sliding Eric Martin. Rounding second is Ejo. First and third with one out in the seventh.
Heads up base running there from Kenice Ejo. He realized that he was already around second, and nobody had even seen where the ball was in that vicinity. That kind of triangle between left fielder, center fielder, and shortstop, and he was in the third base without a throw.
So 2 on for Ricky Phillips, the cleanup man. I guess most Major League Baseball teams had some variation of that vest. Now that I think about it, other than the traditional teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox, runner goes, no throw down. So 2 in scoring position now. And the Blue Jays had one too, right? It was the old logo, but
yes.
I think it was like the bird with the T or something like that, maybe?
Sounds right. It's more of like an alternate road jersey they had for a few years.
White Sox, the team I like to follow, had them for a couple of years. Basically just looked like the home jersey with the sleeves cut off, but
I think the last team to do it on more of like a full-time basis was the Rockies up until, maybe five years ago or so.
So the Panthers have an almost, is that a cream color? I think it is.
Yes, it is.
Kind of like the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers had a kind of a cream-colored home uniform as well.
I dig the cream. I like it.
Well, it looks good with the pinstripes on the black with Chatham-Kent.
Absolutely.
I do like that. Two balls, one strike to Ricky Phillips. 2 in scoring position here, a chance for Barrie to get comfortably on top.
Middle infielders playing in for Kitchener, and even the first baseman Simon Grinberg playing towards the grass.
Fastball and a swing and a miss. 2-2. Phillips couldn't catch up to it. Phillips has yet to reach base tonight.
Looking to extend a 4-game hit streak.
David Bruinsma on in relief of Pedro de los Santos, and now Gavin McLean, the third pitcher. As this is a roller to short, looks the runner back, makes the throw. Perfect play. Stephen Whalen making sure Kenice Ejo didn't have any ideas. Sometimes that little look over and that bluff throw can mess up the infielder, and you see them uncork a wild one, but Whalen played that about as perfectly as you could.
Momentum means so much as a base runner, and right there, it's a perfect example. Is Ejo might have been breaking towards home plate on contact, but as soon as he saw Whalen kind of come up with it in the shallow part of the infield, he had to hold up right away.
So a big out, and now Nolan Macabrota will bat with 2 away. Thought about dragging down a bunt there, and it's a called strike.
Odd strategy with 2 outs to show bunt. More of a kind of a safety squeeze kind of play with 2 out and 2 in scoring position.
Yeah, you might expect Ejo would be breaking for home in a situation like that.
Didn't have that big of a lead at third at the time.
Swinging there, and he's right through it. Strike 2.
Yeah, that was kind of a sinking curveball that got him there.
Macabrota's home run, a big difference in this ball game here tonight. Barrie on top by 3, 5-2 Baycats. McLean deals. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout and some good pitching by the right-hander for the Panthers. So the Baycats strand 2 and are unable to add to their 5-2 lead through 7. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Top of the 8th inning, Vintage Throne Stadium. Julius Hern, Ben Davy with you and our Baycats TV crew. Enjoying a 5-2 Barrie lead here on this beautiful Thursday night at the ballpark. Beautiful except for the mosquitoes, which came out about an inning ago, or the Bay City biters, as we call them around these parts. Raul Gonzalez, the lone home run for the Panthers tonight. To face Juan Benitez, Barrie's second pitcher of the evening. Oh, they got the tiki torches down there in the Baycat bullpen. Is that what you're pointing at?
No, but I did see that earlier. Chris Cox was hanging out over there and next to the Baycats bullpen. Looked like they kind of had some kind of tribal ceremony going on with those torches.
Citronella candles, but they're like flames.
Yeah, I've seen them like used in backyards all the time.
Yeah.
But any night to break them out, tonight seems to be the night for it. This might be the first time, like, at least since I've been with the team, that the bugs have been really bad.
Popped up, shallow right center, and it's going to be Noel McGarry-Doyle taking it for the out. One down. Well, if you're going to put those out there, you may as well put out a grill and have a cookout and maybe a little cornhole. And
that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Baycats bullpen barbecue?
Why not? As long as you're up by 3. As soon as you're losing, all that stuff's got to go away.
Oh, yeah.
Always a relaxed, chill vibe down near that Barrie bullpen. Here's the pitch. And this one's lined to right center. It's a base hit. So the Panthers get a man on with one out. Ball picked up by Canisijo. Eric Martin reaches base for the 3rd time tonight.
Well, speaking of the Baycats bullpen, Brad Grieveson has started to throw.
Designated hitter number 48, Junior Ibarra.
Brad just got back from Indiana, where he was on a road trip helping coach his son's team. He was telling me about the success that they had. Juan Benitez working with a man on and one out here in the 8th inning. Kicks and deals. Fastball catches the inside corner for a strike. And now time is called, as Ibarra wants to step out and make some adjustments.
Well, meanwhile, in the Panthers bullpen, Dakota Parsons, is the one throwing.
Dylan Quinn, who does a lot of our social media content here as part of our Baycats crew, he was saying he was really interested in our conversation of our top 10 players, and he wanted to know my whole list. And I can't remember who I had after Willie Mays on my list now. I'm trying to think. Who did I have 8, 9, and 10? And now I'm going to rack my brain over that, and because I know he's going to come ask me after the game.
I mentioned to you during the break, we didn't even talk about guys like Ken Griffey Jr.
Now that you mention him, I'm thinking, how didn't I put him in my top 7? But then who would I take out? I can't take out Ricky Henderson. Can't take out Pete Rose, the all-time hit king. Willie's definitely not going lower than 7, I can tell you that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And it gets away from Anderson. The runner will advance. Didn't go far, but far enough that Eric Martin was able to grab an extra 90 feet of real estate.
Well, it's been an issue all night right from the start for James Anderson. This is his first start of the season, but a lot of pass balls tonight that Panther base runners have capitalized on.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes.
In fact, 2 of them in the first inning directly led to that first run of the game.
Inside and high, and the count is full, 3-2. Potential tying run on deck. Oh, it's ball 4, excuse me. It's a little behind on the pitch clock there, or the scoreboard. As that is ball 4.
27, Stephen Whalen.
So this is the tying run, potentially. Stephen Whalen in a 3-run ball game with 2 on, and this is the first real jam that Juan Benitez has had to pitch out of tonight. Whalen has struck out twice tonight. Benitez comes right at him with the first pitch, and it's just off the plate, ball 1. That one close, but not close enough. 1 out, runners lead. Benitez steals. And it's 2-0.
It seems like Whalen's just going to be taking all the way from here on out, just seeing if Benitez can get one over the plate.
Singled in the 4th between a pair of strikeouts. Taking again, and Benitez misses. So the plate starting to move around a little bit on Juan Benitez here in this 8th inning.
As much as it is the tying run at the plate, you have a double play in order. You can just pitch the contact here, and one pitch can get you out of the inning.
Get me over pitch for a strike, and it's 3-1 with Whalen taking all the way. Martin at second, Ibarra at first. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Pitch. Ball 4. The bases are loaded. That one low and in. Back-to-back walks.
And Andrew White's going to take a mound visit here. Maybe just calm down Juan Benitez. Evan Souls has since replaced Brad Grieveson as the one throwing in the Baycats' pen.
So a mound visit for the Baycats and a conference with James Anderson, Juan Benitez, and the shortstop in as well, Carson Burns. Double play is what they need here to get out of this inning with 1 out. Umpire Jared Merkley out to tell them to move things along, and Andrew White has said what he needed to say. I think Andrew wanted a little more time out there and kind of felt like he was entitled to have another minute or 2 to say what he wanted. And he'll head back to the Barrie dugout with a slow walk. Maybe a little stalling here as Souls really hustling to get ready, getting that right arm warmed up in a hurry here.
Well, it seemed like when they had Brad Grieveson, throwing earlier, that they were only expecting him to be throwing for the 9th. But now with Evan Souls, you might be looking for a little bit more length if Benitez can't get out of this inning.
And Benitez has a history of getting a big out after a mound visit. We've seen it a few times this year. And he's ahead here 0-2. Looks like he's picked up a little velocity with that fastball.
Well, he definitely just need to get calmed down a little bit, get some encouragement. Like I said, if you can get a ground ball here, you're only 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning.
Fans wanted it. Baycat dugout wanted it. They did not get it. It's 1-2 You know, White might have just said to him as well, look, this is the last batter for you. Empty the tank here. Whatever you got left, we need it. As Souls gets ready to work the ninth. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch to DiClemente. And it's a high fly ball. Left center field. Ejo's underneath it. And he will make the running catch. And the runner will tag and score. 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Sac fly to bring the runner home. That's Eric Martin.
Second sac fly that the Panthers have cashed in on tonight. First one that gave them a 1-0 lead in the first inning. This one bringing the ball game within 2, which means go-ahead runs at the plate.
And Ryan Burnside, the catcher, looking to keep this inning alive. First pitch, fouls it off left side over near his own bullpen. Burnside, the catcher tonight, number 8 hitter. Benitez makes some adjustments, now looks in for the sign. Deals, and it's on the ground, hit weakly. Charging Hull, makes a running throw, and it's in time for the out. So the Baycats get off the field with minimal damage. The Panthers tack on 1 to make it a 2-run game. It's 5-3 Barrie as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Bottom of the 8th inning, the Baycats are carrying a 5-3 lead now into the bottom half of the inning, and it's brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
It'll be James Anderson along with Noah Hull and Tyler Plumpton for the Baycats, looking to add to a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Baycats and Panthers for the first time here at Vintage Throne Stadium in 2024. Kitchener looking for just their 4th win of the season. Coming into tonight's game with a record of 3-13. Rock bottom of the IBL standings at the moment. A lot of veterans on this club, though, and they'll be looking for a strong second half to get out of that basement and get themselves back to the postseason. Of course, one team in the IBL will miss the playoffs this year, with it being a 9-team league for the first time. 0-2 pitch. And he just missed.
Surprising start for the Panthers so far this year, considering they finished 2nd in the IBL standings last year, just a half game ahead of the Baycats. 26-15 record for Kitchener last year. 4.5 back of Welland, who won the pennant.
Had a really good season last year and then fell to Barrie in the second round of the playoffs. Gavin McLean out here to work the 8th inning. Two balls, two strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And a strikeout to lead off the 8th. Back-to-back strikeouts for Gavin McLean. As he got Macabroda to end the 7th. And now Anderson to lead off the 8th.
Well, the results for Anderson so far tonight, both at the plate, defensively and offensively, might suggest that still trying to get the rust off a little bit. Hasn't seen a whole lot of time this year. 0 for 4 so far, 3 strikeouts, and struggled a little bit defensively with some pass balls behind the plate.
Noah Hull tonight at third base has looked pretty good defensively. 1-0 the count to him.
Seems like he's really settled in as a Baycat overall.
Takes that pitch high, 2-0. Reminder that we're back here Saturday afternoon for another Junior Baycats Day against the Hamilton Cardinals. And the Cardinals put a beat down on the Baycats last time they were here a couple of weeks ago. So Barrie will be fired up and looking for some payback here on Saturday afternoon. It's a 4:05 first pitch. Lots of activities for kids on our Junior Baycats Saturdays all season long.
In that game, where Hamilton beat Barrie here at Finch's Throne Stadium, they kind of got to Frank Garces, which is a little bit surprising. Garces still got through 5 innings, but it was a not a good game defensively for Barrie, to say the least, that game.
And 2 really big innings where the score kind of got out of control. And there's a base on balls as Hull draws a walk. That week, the Cardinals won all 3 games and managed double-digit run totals that week. And then the next week, they cooled right off and just looked like a completely different ball club. So it's been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde season for the Hamilton Cardinals. It'll be interesting to see where they end up when all is said and done, because I think that's a really good lineup. The question mark might be their pitching, but we certainly know that they have the offense.
Well, they're sitting 3rd in the IBL in run differential at +21, behind Guelph and Welland, who are right neck and neck, for top spot in that category. Just 1 run separating those 2.
Runner goes, hit and run is on, and it's down the line, just foul.
Great contact there from Tyler Plumpton going the other way. Just sliced a bit too far to the right, foul. Seemed like the kind of ball that Noah Hull would have scored on from first base had it stayed fair.
Josh Matlow really seems to be putting runners in motion more this season than we've seen previous years.
It is something they work on every batting practice. Right off the hop, they do hit and run scenarios where they try to get the guys to hit the other way.
Runner goes again, and that one will drop into right field for a base hit. Rounding second is Hull. He's into third. Runners on the corners, 1 out.
Right, as I said it, another great example right there of putting Hull in motion, gets him an extra bag where you might not have seen him get there if he wasn't in motion.
Hull actually lost his footing just a little bit on the second or third step there. And fortunately, Plumpton was able to put that ball in play. And he had plenty of time to get to third when that ball dropped in right field. So 2 on for the Baycats, 1 out. Number 9 hitter Brad McQuinn comes to the plate.
Not only in play, but going the other way with it into right field.
Burns is another one that I mentioned, watching him in BP and seeing how well he was hitting the ball. And he was hitting them to the opposite field as well, very well, which was just something that happened to catch my attention before the game today. And Carson Burns has had himself a great ball game tonight.
2 for 3 with a walk. 3 stolen bases today for Carson Burns, which is, I want to say, uncharacteristic of him. He hadn't had a stolen base so far this season until tonight.
normally hits in the bottom half of the order, and you got to wonder now, this experiment putting him in the number 2 spot if he stays there for a little while.
Yeah, every start he had this year was in the 9 spot. Moving up to 2 seemed like it kind of, awoken Carson Burns a little bit, getting him out of a little bit of a slump because he only had 3 hits this season coming in tonight.
Well, it definitely jumped off the Barrie lineup when we looked at it when it was handed to us before the game, seeing Carson Burns in the number 2 spot because it's not normally where he would go, but he has definitely made the most of this opportunity here this evening.
Because this far into the season, you don't really see a guy who was hitting 171 coming in today, move up in the order, let alone hit number 2.
To strike to Brad McQuinn, so the count is full now, 3-2. McLean to the belt. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. And here's the throw down. And it gets away from the shortstop, and the runner comes in from third. And in to score is Noah Hall. So there's that aggressive base running we talked about, even on the strikeout by Brad McQuinn, with Plumpton in motion and forced the throw. And that gave Noah Hall the opportunity to score an important run. Heads
up base running, because that ball didn't look like it got all that far away from Stephen Whalen and Spencer Ross. It stayed on that infield dirt and just far enough away where Noah Hall could speed down that third base line and score.
Looks like the Panthers pitching coach is out for a mound visit. Bill Matish ejected from this ball game if you missed it earlier. And a pitching change now, as that will be the end of the line for reliever Gavin McLean. So he is done, and so are we. For a moment, we'll return with a pitching change after this. Fourth pitcher of the night for the Panthers, it will be Dakota Parsons on to pitch for Kitchener.
Parsons comes into this one as his 5th appearance of the season, 18 2/3 so far this year, but he's pitching to a 7.23 ERA. 15 earned runs over those 4 appearances. His strikeout to walk ratio not looking so good, 18 to 16 respectively.
And he comes into this game with a runner at second and 2 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Baycats up by 3. Parsons pitch. High and in, 2-0. Ben Davy along with Julius Hern at Vintage Throne Stadium. Brian Backland, our producer, as always. Rob Daniels on PA. Rob Hurley, our photographer. Gary Mason, our statistician and Point Strike operator. Kendra Doyle, our in-game host. Who'd I miss? Did I get everybody? James Henderson doing the stats and analytics.
Dylan Quinn, videographer.
That's
Give
right.
him a huge shout out.
Keeping the play. Oh, that one sails over the head of Ejo and all the way to the backstop. So runners on the corners now. Here's Carson Burns, who's having a big night. And a huge opportunity here with 2 on and 2 out. In case you missed it, mic'd up players tonight, Carson Burns and Brad McQuinn, and we look forward to hearing their on-field comments on social media. Runner goes, and the throw down, head first slide. Tag is late. Tyler Plumpton stays at third.
Ryan Burnside struggled with some of his throws from behind the plate. That one looked like his best one all night. And it was still too high to get the speedy Kenise Ejo.
So 2 in scoring position now. Plumpton electing to stay put at third rather than coming in on a double steal situation. So 2 in scoring position, 2 out. Baycats have done a lot of 2-out stealing this year. Pitch from Parsons. That's a called strike. 2 hits and a walk for Burns tonight. Noel McGarry Doyle is on deck, hopeful for an at-bat here if Burns can keep this inning going. 1-2. Got a piece and stays alive.
Like you mentioned earlier, a resurgent performance from Carson Burns. 2 for 3 in this game with a walk, 3 steals.
Checks the runners and deals. And it's outside, 2-2. Burns laying off and keeping the at-bat alive. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Parsons to Burns. And it's high, and the count is full. First base open, and if Parsons puts him on, McGarry Doyle will bat with the bases loaded here. 9 hits tonight for the Baycats. Payoff pitch. Inside ball 4. And indeed, McGarry Doyle will come to the plate with the sacks loaded.
Second walk of the game for Carson Burns. Has been very patient all night. Some of his pitch selection. The 4th time he's reached this evening.
First pitch to McGarry Doyle, and he takes it. It's low for a ball. McGarry Doyle has been very patient in his at-bats as well. That 4th inning at-bat comes to mind where he drew a walk and scored an important run at that point in the game. Nowhere to put him here. Plumpton at third, Ejo at second, Burns at first.
The Panthers can't afford to give up any more runs. Already down by 3.
Parson deals. It's a called strike. Two balls and a strike to Noel McGarry Doyle. Parsons goes into a full windup here with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch. And it's a called strike again, 2-2. Anything close here, and McGarry Doyle will want to pull the trigger. Good crowd here tonight at Vintage Throne Stadium, hanging in there till the end. Behind Noel McGarry Doyle with a 2-2 pitch on the way, and the count is full. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners will be in motion with this pitch from Parsons. And in comes another run.
Very close take inside from Noel McGarry Doyle.
The left fielder, number 2.
All the runners were off on the pitch, and it didn't even matter. Free pass, and it's now 7-3.
Well, Dakota Parsons wants to be careful here not to let this one unravel and get too far out ahead. It's a 4-run Barrie lead now. The bases remain loaded. And here's the always dangerous Ricky Phillips, the cleanup man here with the bases loaded. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. Very uncharacteristic for Phillips, who's usually up there first pitch swinging. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Baycats up by 4. 2 out in the inning. Parsons deals. Called strike 3. Baycats leave the bases loaded, but they build their lead to 4. It's Baycats 7, Panthers 3 as we go to the 9th. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
This top of the 9th inning, as we come back to Vintage Throne Stadium, is brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka. Making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Spencer Voisin will come on to pinch hit here and lead it off for the Panthers in the top of the 9th inning against right-hander Juan Benitez. Benitez came on in relief of starter Cesar. Spencer Voisin is up, yes. My apologies. Cesar Rosado started for the Baycats tonight. Juan Benitez came on in relief. And Voisin in here to pinch hit. First pitch swinging, and it's in the dirt and low inside.
This is technically a safe situation for Benitez. This would be his 3rd inning in relief to end the game if he can get through us.
Benitez looks in for the sign. Here comes the pitch. And he misses low. The count is 2-1.
Voisin hasn't gotten into many games with the Panthers yet this year. Just 2 appearances. But he's 2 for 6 in those limited time.
Down the line, and it's foul. Count 2-2. If Benitez gets the save, it'll be his team-leading second save of the season. 2-2. Fouled away. Back to the screen.
Seen a lot more of those 3-inning saves in the IBL this year. Ivan Souls had one earlier this year as well in relief.
Well, especially when you see guys who have experience starting in that role, going 3 innings or more in relief and completing the game. To short, Burns scoops it up, makes the running throw in time for the out. Wouldn't expect necessarily one Benitez to be leading the Baycats in saves at this point of the season, but such will be the case if this holds up here tonight.
Who would have had that on their bingo card coming into this year?
Ryan Lacasse has a save. Carlos Sano, who is also being used as a starter, has a save. So lots of multiple roles for many of the guys on the pitching staff for the Baycats this year. Blake Jacklin, leadoff hitter for the Panthers. Takes that pitch. It's a strike, 1-1.
Jacklin reached on a hit by a pitch to lead off the game, later scored in that inning on a sacrifice fly, so still looking for his first hit of the game.
Fouls it back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just 6 hits for the Panthers tonight. 3 runs. Baycats now 9 hits on 7 runs. The Dominican right-hander into the delivery with a 1-2 pitch, and it's up the middle into center field for a base hit. Jacklin is aboard, 1 out in the 9th.
First baseman number 36, Simon Grinberg.
Simon Grinberg comes to the plate for the 5th time this evening. And the first baseman will look to keep this 9th inning alive for the Panthers.
Gotta watch out for Jacklin on the base pass. Led the Panthers with 19 steals last year.
Fouled off left side. It is not playable, and the count is 0-1. Dangerous weapon at the top of the Panthers' order.
Only has a couple steals this year so far. Nonetheless, still a threat on those base paths.
Runner leads, does not go. The pitch on the inside corner for a strike. 0-2. Voisin leads it first. Here's the pitch. That one sails high and away, 1-2. Benitez wastes one, and Jacklin does not chase. One-two from Benitez, and it's lifted to right field. It'll stay in the park, and the catch is made by Noel McGarry-Doyle for the 2nd out of the inning.
Just the swing that Grinberg put on that got some reaction from some folks around the park. Looked like a clear-cut home run swing, but just got caught up in what little breeze there is here. Just the trajectory kept it in the park for Noel McGarry-Doyle with an easy catch.
Highest hit ball that we've probably seen hit tonight. Stayed in the park. And now 2 outs in the inning. Raul Gonzalez is a guy who could make this interesting with one swing. Panthers down by 4. Benitez from the stretch, runner goes. Pitches outside, no throw down. As Jacklin takes second uncontested.
At this point, Benitez just has to worry about the guy at the plate, Raul Gonzalez. Still just 1 out to go. Close this one out.
Runner goes again. Plumpton does make this throw, and Not covering the bag at third was Noah Hull. He backhanded it to keep it from going into left field. He assumed that Anderson, excuse me. I apologize, I said Plumpton earlier. Anderson, the catcher tonight. Hull perhaps assuming that he wouldn't throw it down.
Yeah, at this point, you're fine with conceding the bag on that play.
Center field, Ejo goes to his right, he's under it, and he makes the catch, and that'll do it. Baycats win tonight by a score of 7-3.
For pitcher tonight, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Final score, the Barrie Baycats 7 and the visiting pitcher Panthers 3.
Well, a nice bit of pitching by Cesar Rosado for the Baycats. Really his home debut, as he only got 13 pitches into the game Thursday night last week, and then Juan Benitez coming on in relief and had a couple of jams to work his way out of, but did what he needed to do, and as you mentioned, gets the save, working 3 innings here to close this one out for the Baycats tonight.
Well, it really seemed like this game for the Baycats was just an all-around improvement from Saturday in Chatham. The offense was rolling, 9 hits, and the defense was errorless after 4 in Chatham on Saturday. So all-around fantastic performance from the Baycats. They're going to look to carry that one into this weekend with 2 games Saturday and Sunday.
Hamilton Cardinals will be here at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and so will we. So we'll see you at the ballpark. And if you can't make it, we'll have it here for you on Rogers TV and Baycats TV on YouTube. For Julius Hern and our entire crew, I'm Ben Davy. Good night from Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater.